All right, all right.
How we
It's
doing?
Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. How is everybody?
Doing very well.
Doing good?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wednesday, March 16th, the day before St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah.
I think everybody gets to celebrate it all week, especially in Delco from Saturday to Saturday, just because,
Well, that's what happens when it runs in the middle of the week, right?
right? Just because.
Oh yeah.
Like they need another day to drink, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Hey,
good.
speaking of drinking, special shout out to our folks at City Distilling. That's Mario sporting the new black T-shirt.
All the way down here.
There you go. There you go. Yes, Brian Brown. We heard the news. What was it? 8 years, $182 million, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, 7. I think 7 years in the 182.
7 years, 182 mil. Not a bad payday.
I take that.
It
Not a bad payday, but not happening in Philadelphia.
got me fired up right before the show. I can't believe it.
Got you fired. Like you need
Like
to be
you-
fired.
yeah, I was gonna say, like you need a
to
reason.
be fired up.
Well, when you
Also
sit
make me laugh.
when you sit on your hands like the Phillies are doing, it's not a good thing.
We got time to get into that.
Oh no, we'll
So
get into that. We got to
we'll
talk March
we'll
Madness.
get into that. I'm going to throw it up to you because you can talk about March Madness, our bracket pool, and the prizes to be announced. That should get some people fired up.
Oh,
What'd you say?
absolutely.
We got 67 already signed up?
Yeah, there's a bunch signed up already.
Nice.
Thanks to everybody. We actually have 2 pages on there, so people are going to be following their brackets. They'll be having to go onto a second page. We also have a second group, so just I'll be adding I'll be putting the scores out, including the other bracket because we had a little bit of a mishap, I guess, with people signing up with them. With our new link, it made it a lot easier. So thanks for everybody who joined in with us. It's really making this a fun event, and hopefully we'll be able to enjoy it even more. For the years going forward here. So Carl's Cards and Collectibles is donated for our prize, a Jalen Brunson autographed basketball, a 2016 Sports Illustrated. From The Shot from Chris Jenkins, and it's autographed by Chris Jenkins himself, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Deontay DiVincenzo, and Daniel Oshefo. So
And what do they all have in common?
NCAA champions for Villanova.
And they're all in the NBA. How about that? They all have
Absolutely.
had careers in the NBA. How about that?
Yep. So the winner is going to take away both of those prizes and enjoy. So it should be fun. We still have a few more people obviously need to sign up. Lauren and Anthony. Sue, we'll get Sue in there as well. So and then we have we'll have a bunch in there. It's going good. It's pretty simple. If you look at right on the top of our page. It looks like there's 4 easy steps that I laid out there in the comments in case you are having a problem. But it seems like everybody's doing a good job with it now. So we were able to figure it out. It was a little difficult in the beginning. So yeah, just fill it out. I think you have until noon tomorrow before the games start off or tip off, and you'll be good to go. So.
Sweet.
Joining us, Lauren and Anthony. I don't know. Did you guys get the update that Chris Bryant signed with the Rockies?
I just saw that come across my phone. Yep.
So John's in an ornery mood. So we're gonna have to deal with that. So
what else is new?
Hopefully
really.
the button handy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was hoping, Anthony, that the delay was that you were going to pick up Chris Bryant, so that it would be we'd be able to announce it, but.
That you were going.
That'd be amazing.
Wouldn't I be going to pick him up?
Well, no, because Anthony's part of the Phillies organization with the Red and
I was
Phillies.
gonna say, but he's closer to me.
Yeah. Well, but he's not there in Florida. He's up this way.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I was hoping that was the announcement, but unfortunately not. looks like we are probably done with our off season signing guys. We got about $12 million left, so I'm not sure what we're going to do with that.
Better do something with it.
Yeah, hopefully. We're still needing another bat, but we'll see what happens.
So we're talking Philly spring training baseball. Games start on Friday.
Yep.
First game will be over in Lakeland, Florida. For anybody close to Lakeland, that's home of Tiger Town. So they'll open up against the Detroit Tigers. Been there. Nice little facility. I love their outfields. The way, just the logistics. They put a lot of money. I know Anthony talks about, all the time about money being spent on, different stadiums, minor league stadiums, and I'm not sure that that they ever got a minor league team down there. I know they were trying to. Like in Clearwater, they have the Thrashers, but I don't think they ever got a team over there in Tiger Town.
No?
They put a ton of money into it a couple of years ago, but I don't believe so. So if somebody can look that up, and throw the red flag, I'd be curious to know. But so Phillies baseball, we're gonna go with basically what we got. We signed Kyle Schwarber. What do you have last year? 35, 36 dingers.
Yeah, he had a nice season with hitting home runs, which is nice.
That was split between the Nationals and the Red Sox, right?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a nice little stretch there where he had 16 of them in 21 games with the Nationals right before he got traded to Boston. So, and then helped Boston out a lot as well. So, I mean, it is a nice move. I just don't know that that's enough of a move. Because he's not going to be able to play left field. He's not a good defender. So he'll probably be our DH, most likely. But we'll see what happens.
Well, so we're still in the same predicament over outfield like we were last year.
Yeah, we're going to struggle a little bit.
Greg Luzinski and Pat Burrow won championships playing left field in this town.
They did. But they also had, like I said earlier to you, they had Gary Maddox and Shane Victorino in center field covering a lot of ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We got.
I'm just not so sure that they spent all that money for a DH. So I could be wrong, but
Well, I'm sure they're going to put them out in left field because they need somebody, but I don't know that's going to help. The way we need it to.
Gotcha.
So because the other options that we're going to have were Luke Williams, or like you said, if you bring Mickey Moniak up as well, would be other options to play left field right at the moment.
Yeah, and center field is going to be consumed by one Odubel Herrera. I never would have thought in my wildest dreams that he'd be back in a Phillies uniform.
Right.
So what deal did they give him?
He got like 1.75, I think, and
just a 1 year.
1 year deal and potential for I think maybe $700,000 or $1 million in incentives, depending on what happens. There's some incentives in there. So him and Matt Vierlin are going to platoon out there in center field. It looks like right now, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think. It looks like we might be seeing more of a Bryson Stott maybe making his debut up at shortstop this year. Possibly to start with Didi moving to third base. So it'll be interesting to see.
So John, what's your outlook?
Right at the moment, I think we're about the same. We're about 80 win team. I just don't think we made enough. Because the subtractions that we did, we lost Ronald Torreyes, we lost Andrew McCutchen, Hector Neris, and Bradley in the bullpen with Ian Kennedy, and with the guys that we picked up. I think it's kind of little bit better, I think, but I think it's not like it's moving the needle that much. And some of the other teams I think got a little bit better.
You think the DH helps us or hurts us?
I think it's going to help. Because I think I like the National League game as far as the manager making moves, but in today's game where pitchers aren't really hitting,
Right.
Nobody's bunting much either. So give me some more offense. If a Schwarber is going to be your DH hitting 40 home runs for us, that'd be nice. So it would have been nicer if Chris Bryant was on there as well, and that we could, playing left field, but.
Well, I don't think there was ever a doubt that they were going to sign, two, superstar players this offseason. I just didn't see that coming. I just did not. They're not going over the luxury tax. It's not happening.
Right.
And to take a page out of your book, John, yeah, they probably went the cheaper of the three routes.
Cost-wise, they did, yeah. But
personally, I think they're in a better situation. They played hurt last year. A lot of those guys played because their replacements were hurt.
Right.
So,
no, that's true.
Right.
You got to stay healthy. You just have to. You got to stay healthy. The bullpen's got to do better. You just have to.
Yeah.
Or Girardi's going to be a lame duck manager and he won't be back.
Right.
Because just like over in the organization on Broad Street, you can't fire 25 players.
Right.
Right.
You can get rid of a lot of coaches and managers.
Right.
But
seems to be the
we got a lot to cover tonight, and I want to throw it over to Anthony. He took a couple weeks off. I'm not quite sure what he's been doing, but
nothing.
He's left us high and dry. At the time we needed him the most, he disappeared on us. So we're not going to question where you were because we know you've been busy. You're a number one sales guy in all of minor leagues.
Yes.
You've got the track record to prove it. But give us something. April, what date is opening day?
April 8th. It was what are the Phillies? The 7th now?
The 7th, yeah.
Yeah, we were looking good for a minute to not have to deal with that. But I mean, it's good that they're back and they're playing. That's great. And but we'll be April 8th. And then it'll go through September 11th. So we'll have a full season, full capacity, all that great stuff, which is nice. So yeah, we're just getting ready for all that stuff right now. And then other than that, I had a question for John. I wanted to see,
oh boy,
not to go back specifically on the Phillies per se, but like what's your buddy Harper going to do if they finish with the record that you just mentioned? Because it sounded like he really wanted a big splash here. Doesn't sound like the Phillies want to do that because they're paying him so much. So
right.
What happens? Because he's not going to be too thrilled if they have 80 wins again.
Well, you know what? He's actually, everybody keeps saying he's getting paid a lot, but his numbers less than what Chris Bryant just got.
Sure.
Per year, just a longer contract for him. I don't think he's going to be happy. And I think he's getting sold a bill of goods, saying that we were going to go for it, and like we've been saying, for the past 3 years here on the show, almost 4 years, that they do one move to sell tickets.
right.
The Swerber's the big move this year that you're going to get to hopefully get people to buy tickets, and you had Harper, and you had Wheeler, and then you had Arrieta, JT, the one as well. So I mean, you keep getting 1 year. So probably by the time Harper gets his contract is finished, we might get enough guys to have a good team. But they're in such a 3-4 year window, but you have to go for it, and they're just not going for it.
You and I do not agree, and I think it's we've had this problem for a while now. You're talking about a $200 million team that's not all in. Brian Brown, Middleton needs to sell. Why? You spent 200 million freaking dollars. Okay. If your players don't stay healthy and stay on the field, whose fault's that?
Yeah, I understand that, but it's also you're spending it the wrong way.
Okay, so you've everybody wanted Harper, everybody wanted JT Realmuto, everybody wanted DD back. Um, Talk to me. I mean, what's the argument here?
Well,
I'm looking at a top five payroll, and everybody wants Middleton to sell the team.
Because you're not doing the moves that you need to. You need
Oh,
you
you're
need
not going over the luxury tax. Is that what you're
right.
saying?
I mean, you got
the
the
real-
Mets at $300 million. You got the Dodgers at 180 or 285 million. So teams are going way above what the Phillies are doing. So
well,
I mean,
this is sort of the problem, and I think that's what they were trying to figure out a little bit. It didn't get figured out with like a salary cap and all that stuff. But you're going to continue seeing Los Angeles and New York
mm-hmm.
spending those crazy dollars, and every once in a while you'll see like a team like Colorado doing it. But that's going to be Colorado's budget for a while, so that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to win either. The problem, with the Phils is that the younger guys, they haven't drafted that great. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
they have no choice but to keep buying people, and they are not going to compete with the Dodgers and the Yankees and then the teams up there because they don't have the TV deals that those teams do. You don't get as much money as Los Angeles does. So as much as it hurts because Philadelphia is a big market, I mean, this new agreement really has made it even tougher, either the same or tougher for teams that aren't in those really, really big markets, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, unless the Phillies go and spend $300 million, which, if you're the owner, you're going to say, why am I going to do that? Because that doesn't necessarily guarantee a win either. So they're just in a rough spot because you don't have any of that other than Bryson Stott. There's really not a name that people can say this guy's going to help us.
And your point exactly is correct, Anthony. The difference with the Dodgers and the Yankees or these other teams, they have a farm system that they're spending money, but they're able to trade. I mean, just look at the Toronto Blue Jays. Look at the team that they're putting together. They're buying everybody. They got almost an all-star at every position, and they're trying to go get Jose Ramirez to play second base. He's an all-star third baseman. They're going to get him to play on their team to play second base. And it's just and they're as young as can be, with all those guys 26, 20, 25, 26 years old in their prime. They're going to be there forever. But that's what we need. We need a farm system, and that's why our payroll is so high is because we don't have a farm system.
Well, that also, as you know, that also is not going to happen overnight. So it's going to be a little bit to stock that back up. So, you got to almost, like you had mentioned, you're almost set up to win right now, but you're not really set up to win right now.
unless you go over the cap. And that's why, you have to spend
my fight is to stay healthy, to keep your regulars on the field. And I think you can be competitive.
I don't think there's a doubt about that.
Well, that's huge. That's huge.
Right.
I mean, because you haven't had that. Every year you take somebody, one of your regulars off the field. When is Rhys Hoskins going to play a full schedule?
Well, that's the point, though, Carl. Like
he's a homegrown talent. Born and bred.
He is, but what I'm saying is, you only have a few of those. You don't have anybody else coming in the minor leagues. You take Bryson Stott. He's your best option you're going to have coming out of minor leagues for this year if something happens. Hey. So if you get one injury, you don't have anybody else to replace these guys.
I got a Connor Brogdon coming out of the bullpen, homegrown. Sir Anthony coming out of the bullpen, homegrown. I got potentially maybe a Scott Kingery who's going to rebound. You know what I mean? Fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Alec Boehm. You know what I mean? A year and a half ago, he was a top 5 prospect. You know what I mean? So, I mean, there's so many tangibles right now. They have spent the money. They have unfortunately not been very lucky when it comes to staying on the field. And I just want a healthy squad. I think we can compete if we're healthy. I really do. I think we can compete day in and day out, and we can win a series just about all the time. But you got to stay healthy.
Yep. Okay. We'll see. I mean, like you said, but that's every team though. Every team's got to stay healthy, but we don't have anybody to replace him. That's the problem.
But my you know
You're not
my
going to go
my
162
bitch
games without
my
injury.
bitch with the Dodgers and the Mets and all these teams that are spending the Yankees. They've got depth and they've got the money. The Yankees are turning around and they're trading all their talent. You know what I mean? All the guys that they've drafted, they're trading them.
But that's the
So
whole point, though. Prospects are there to be traded.
yeah, but these guys have been up. They've been up. They got tired of waiting on Gary Sanchez. They're tired of waiting on guys.
Right.
So they unload them.
Right. That's the whole point. Prospects are there to either be superstars if they turn into, a Vladimir Guerrero, or you trade them to get those type of players. That's what prospects are there for. And
well, there's one of the luckiest teams in all of baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays. I mean, you can't get any luckier than that squad, drafting wise, and bringing in all these young players and not even worrying about it.
Well, is that lucky, or is that good general manager or good front office people?
It's a little bit of both. I'll throw a lot of luck their way, because to have all of those guys click at one time, that's pretty darn good. So, draft them, develop them, bring them up, let them play.
With the extra playoff spot, if the Phils can grab that last playoff spot, then anything can happen once you're in, if you're healthy at the end of the year. So it is going to be tough to obviously win the division, but if you can make the playoffs, you got a chance as long as everyone's healthy. So we'll see.
Yep.
So what's this bring the season to? November now?
No, it's only a couple games. I think they just put out the updated. I didn't see the final updated schedule, but it was only 3 games extended, I believe. So it may September, like it maybe October 1st, 2nd, something like that.
No. I mean with the playoffs.
Oh, well, yeah, but it's always been in November.
It's been going into November for probably the last
2 or 3 years.
10, 20 years. I mean, it was October, and then they just. I don't know what happened, John, but over the last few years, it's got into the beginning of November.
Yeah, I mean,
because I remember when the Phillies won, that was 2008. The parade was on the 31st.
Right, but Derek Jeter hit the home run, and he became Mr. November.
Right.
One of those years, one of those years. So maybe it was 2009, 2010. Like, I mean, it was 10, 15 years ago.
Well, yeah, and I don't know, with these extra playoff games, it'll probably go a little bit longer. So,
right, yeah, well, especially now, yes, with adding the extra series, but I mean, they didn't really technically add an extra team because they had the 6 teams last year in each division. So the 12, they just kept it at the 12 from last year when they did it. So.
Well, we can certainly come back if we have time at the end of the show and talk some more Phillies and how they've pissed off all their fans and whatnot. So we can come back to that. But the Eagles are making some moves or made a move. The draft is coming. The free agency is getting ready to pop. They brought a local kid back, Temple product.
Yeah, Son Reddick, that was a nice move.
Started his career with Arizona. Then I guess he got traded to Carolina. Now he's a free agent and he's coming home. So that's a nice little pickup. I think he adds, a nice little flavor to the Eagles with bringing a homegrown player back into town. Thoughts on that?
I like it. It's a Brandon Graham, clone, I think, for, possibly from the other side. And with Brandon Graham retiring, getting close to the end of his career, that's going to be a nice move. Because I think he signed a 3 or 4 year deal, was it?
Yes. Yep. And
And
Brian Brown is reporting that Merrill is back for 3 more years.
Yeah, I saw that.
Does that take Merrill to like 99?
Yeah.
He's been around forever, hadn't he?
Oh yeah.
He's been around a while. But yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Eagles do. They got those 3 number 1 draft picks, and now all the yes,
Yeah.
Mrs. H, no Boston Scott. She's not happy about that. That was her guy. She even has a shirt. So she lost Seth Curry last month, and now she lost Boston Scott. So she's ready to trade in her all her Philly gear.
Hmm.
But with all this talk now with Mr. Watson not coming to Philadelphia, what do they do with those 3 picks?
Well,
I mean,
I don't know. That heated up again today.
oh, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he took Philly out of he doesn't like SEPTA, and he doesn't want to come to the dirty city. So
I don't know. Barrett Brooks said it's about 90% chance that he's here.
Barrett Brooks,
Yeah.
is he a reliable source?
I don't know. He works with them, so we'll see.
Barrett Brooks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll see. Who knows? But yeah, because the Eagles just had to sit down with them either today or coming up tomorrow, maybe.
Well, what trade package that I saw, I would never give up, all that for him. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you would have to give up a lot, and yeah, I didn't, but you can't win in this league without a quarterback. So
Yeah, no doubt.
that's part of the problem.
No doubt.
That Houston's got, but we'll see what happens. But like we said, I mean, we got to stick with Jalen Hurts, as much as that hurts me a little bit to say, but I think we have to for at least one more year, so that we can build a team with all those draft picks, because there's a lot of other holes in this team that that needs to be filled. So.
All right. Well, she sat on her hands long enough, so I got to get her. I got to get her to speak, because she's not talking. So she doesn't agree with us on the Phillies or the Eagles, and it's Sixers talk.
I never said I didn't agree on anything about the Phillies. I don't.
Hey, it's Joel Embiid's birthday. Come on.
It is.
It is.
It is. So, hey, give it up. Lauren, you're our Sixer go-to. So what do you got?
Well, I'm not excited about the 2 most recent games, but I don't think anybody is. So I look to them to have a big game tonight. I did like James Harden's approach after the Nets game, when he said, it was about time that somebody kicked our ass, and that, we kind of figured out how to lose and figure it out as a team, because they were riding it pretty easy since he got there. Mm-hmm. And so finally somebody came in. Now, granted, I would have liked for it not to have been the Nets, because fans came into the Wells Fargo Center that night booing Ben Simmons, and then he gets the last laugh. So that sucked. But the next game, they barely beat the Magic. I think it was by like 2 points.
Yeah, in overtime.
Wow.
And then losing to the Nuggets on Monday night. Monday, yeah. Not great. So they seem to just be struggling a little bit right now. I definitely think that Nets game was in their head, whether they're going to ever admit to it or not. Just that whole concept of Ben coming back. What was the city going to do? What were the fans going to do? James Harden playing against his old team. That game further confirmed how much I hate Kevin Durant. I hope he's never, ever, ever a Sixer. I hope any trade talks of that never materialize into anything. He is the most pompous ass I've ever seen. So no wonder James Harden didn't want to play there. I don't want to play there either. So I would have liked to have seen the team do a little bit better, but I do think that whole Nets game, they were just in their heads.
Do you think, though, also a lot of that, because both of those losses came off of back-to-back games, do you think that has a lot to do? I mean, it's tough in the NBA, especially with the other teams not even playing, we're rested, waiting to play us. So,
yeah, I'm sure that has a lot to do with it as well. But at the same time, the playoffs aren't meant for, week-long periods of rest. So they have to start figuring out how to be able to play every other day, sometimes back-to-back without an issue. But I think what's starting to come to light a little bit is that their bench might not be as good as they had hoped it would be. Mm-hmm. They rely so much on their starting 5 that the bench kind of rides it easy for a while. And then when they get in there, it's like, oh shit, you want us to play like now? And there's not as much bench support as there needs to be. Shake Milton's really disappointed me this year. Definitely not performing as well as I had hoped. Tyrese Maxey was riding high for a really long time, but that seems to have leveled out. So I think they're going through some growing pains right now, which I don't mind. Let's go through this now, get it out of our system and be good for the playoffs, which is what I think is honestly just happening. So I'm not ready to sound the alarm, but I would say if I'm putting any red flags anywhere, it's on the bench.
But part of the bench, though. Oh, sorry, Carl. But part of the bench, March 28th, will be right sitting here. George Niang will be sitting here, and he's been on fire lately. So,
well, it can't just be one guy.
Well, no, you're right. Yeah,
it's got to be more guys than that. Just like with the Phillies, it can't just be Bryce Harper expected to carry the team. That's not how this works.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's everybody else has got to start to sort of chip in, and I'm not sure. I don't know if Doc Rivers spends so much of his time with that starting five. I can't imagine that to be the case, but it just seems like they don't have that same chemistry that starting five do.
If I was one of those guys on the bench, and I'm sure they do it, but I would just be shooting 3-pointers all day long so that you know how to make them, because they're going to double team Harden and Embiid in the playoffs. And if somebody off the bench can't hit a three, you're in trouble because other teams can. Now, the other thing, too, is there's a lot of these games, and it's the NBA. It's not just the Sixers, but there's rarely any defense other than when they bring in Thibault and he saves your butt because he can play some defense. Even Joel, people run right by him. Sometimes you see him get a swat in every now and then and a block, but there's just too much. That's the league today, just too much scoring and not enough defense. If they play just some defense, you don't need your bench to score as much. But I am a little worried right now, playoff wise, but as long as some of those guys on the bench can step up, I think they might be all right.
Oh yeah, no, exactly.
All right. Well, we got more breaking news. Von Miller to the Bills. There's a surprising move because I had him actually going back to Denver. But,
right, you were mentioning that last.
So we've got. I think that's the second breaking news that we've encountered on this show tonight. So. Chris Bryant going to the Rockies and Von Miller to the Bills.
And just to go back, since you said I didn't have a comment on the Eagles, I think the Eagles should stick with Jalen Hurts. Enough with this Watson nonsense. He seems like the biggest piece of cancer to come to this team possible, and we don't need that. He seems like the Kevin Durant of football. We don't need that.
Well, I'm kind of lost with Deshaun Watson, and he came from a great family. And correct me if I'm wrong, because I just he came out of college where Clemson. We didn't have all this nonsense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He seemed like a good kid. He seemed like he was destined for greatness. And then all of a sudden, and a lot of things happened in Houston, and I mean a lot of things happened.
Yeah. Right.
And I just didn't quite understand, where all this came from. And it just took, what did it take over a year for him to finally make a decision, that there weren't going to be charges and, he was going to be, able to go make a deal. And
I mean, I guess, but
where did this all come from?
Well, he said he didn't.
Go ahead, John.
The only thing it came from, real quick, is it came from, he said he wanted out of Houston. And then the next, 2 days later, the lawyers, they got all these 22 people that are saying that they.
They trade. Bill O'Brien, God rest his soul. He's a Penn State guy, but he just totally debauched. That team. He traded the best wide receiver for for the worst running back ever.
And J.J. Watt wanted out.
Yeah, J.J. Watt. I mean, just the whole thing fell apart.
Right.
It just.
They just trashed him on the way out as soon as he said
was it football? Was it, all this personal stuff with him? I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, I want to see the kid, kind of build his football career back to where it was. But I mean, you don't want all that baggage. I get it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's part of it is I'm not even talking about the baggage. That's a whole separate issue. But I think bringing him in and moving Jalen Hurts out, I think it just sends a completely different message to the team that I just don't think they should be sending right now. It basically says, if you can't get your shit together within a year, we're done with you.
Yeah.
If you don't prove to us if you don't prove to us right off the bat, you're dead to us. And, that kills his character. That kills his confidence. That kills everything that you've been working on. And since when do we just give up on somebody? There have been players that have stuck around here far too long when they should have been traded. And Jalen Hurts gets barely a year, and now all of a sudden we're looking for somebody else. I think that's just going to send a message in the locker room that's not going to help anyone.
Well, I think Howie listens to the show too much, and he listens to what John has to say about arm strength and pocket mobility.
But give the guy the off season to figure it out. If the season starts and he's still not performing, then I guess take a look at it. It just seems silly to give up a lot for what it's going to take to get Watson here when Jalen Hurts isn't that bad. You want to talk about bad? Let's talk about who just went to Washington.
Oops. You slid that right in. I let you sat on your hands for 15 minutes, and now you've taken the show over.
Oh, I was just curious how that's working out for him. Another team, another horrible season.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, he fell flat on his face. You know what I mean? And it's it's a shame. It happens. It happens to a lot of guys, and
right.
It's just you have to have a quarterback. That's the problem. That's the only problem. I mean, just look at Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers. The year before, they were there close, and then they get Tom Brady, and then nobody expected them to do anything, and then boom, they win the Super Bowl. Is Deshaun Watson Tom Brady? No, but it just goes to show how that you need a quarterback to do anything.
The board is on fire tonight.
If Watson comes here and he shits the bed, you'll be the first one taking him to the airport.
Right, but he's a proven talent.
Exactly. You don't give anybody a chance. You were willing to give Carson Wentz a chance, and how'd that work out for him? Now we got Jalen Hurts, who's working on development, and you're quick to just shoo him out the door, and then Watson will come in, and if he's not lighting the world on fire and winning you a Super Bowl at the end of the season, you'll be shoo-shooing him too.
No, not with Watson.
No, not with Watson. No, not with Carson, not with Jalen, not with Watson. Please,
the difference is he can play at the quarterback. You've seen it at a high level. He can play.
So you're saying he's proven, so he gets it back.
What have they done?
It doesn't matter what.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay.
You have to be able to play.
But what doesn't matter? If he hasn't taken the team anywhere, if he hasn't put the team on his back, Jalen Hurts brought the Eagles to the playoffs this year.
Yes, he did.
Right.
Wow. Did I disagree with you?
Keep riding with that because look at the schedule that they played to get there. But that's okay.
My God!
You know what I don't like? I don't like when John agrees. I don't like that.
Yeah, but
John doesn't agree. John doesn't agree.
Did you hear the inflection in his voice when he agreed? He
wants Watson here so bad, and the minute he shits the bed, John will drop him like it's hot in a minute.
I won't do that because he has the talent.
But you're going to give up. Okay, so let's look at this for a minute.
Yeah.
Like you're going to give up all those number ones, number twos, and a potential player to get him.
Well, it all depends on the deal. I would probably only give up like 2 number ones.
It's not happening.
No.
That's not the trade.
Well, no. Well, I don't know what the trade is. Nobody knows what the trade is.
Well,
but John,
you've seen all the rumors.
Well, we've seen a lot of rumors, but that doesn't mean that's what it's going to end up being.
Okay.
Like if you give up 2 number ones this year and a number 1 next year, I'm okay with that. You got 3 number ones. You're not getting all 3 of this year.
But hold on a second, John. You're saying Watson can play. What if he comes here and doesn't play like he did before? So then now you're in the same situation.
Mario, that won't happen. He'll come here. He'll be the Christ we've needed.
Well, and that doesn't mean
don't make me laugh. It hurts.
It doesn't mean that he won't. He can't fail here. I'm not saying that, but he is the better option than Hurts.
John,
I'm just going to say your quarterback track record hasn't been very good. So I would walk this fine line very, very lightly.
The one got us a Super Bowl.
The one guy.
Yeah, the one guy.
The
Carson
one
Wentz.
guy.
He got
you
us
don't
a Super
like
Bowl.
Jalen, and he brought you to the playoffs, and now you're just on to the next one.
Right, but the one guy got us a Super Bowl.
John, do you think that Watson is the only answer of what's out there, or do you think you can give Hurts another year? I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean,
No, I'm agreeing. Like, if it's going to be too much of a package that you're giving up, you're going with Hurts, because you have to be able to, if you can manage it so you can, without giving up all three number ones for this year, you got to still be able to build a team this year, around them. But there's way too much that Jalen Hurts is lacking that held this team back right now. Yes, we made the playoffs, but we could have been maybe, what did we end up, 9 wins? We could have been an 12-win team this year.
Right, but he is only played for a little bit, so maybe this year he comes and he lights the world on fire. You never know. I don't know. I just wouldn't want to give up as much as.
Yeah, I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up the moon either. So yeah, I mean, if we had to give up 5 number ones, and there's a limit to what it's going to be. But
more breaking news. Tom,
that's not breaking news. That's kind of old news by now.
Yeah, but you know what? I got a.
Shawnee's trying to lighten the mood here.
Yeah, Shawnee's a big Jalen Hurts fan.
I was going to say, what would that take? 2 months for him to retire? Now he's back already.
And like I said, if Jalen Hurts can play, I'm fine, because that's going to that would be the best move, because he's a cheaper option. Just kind of like the Eagles that we don't have to worry about it, because he's got.
Well, why don't you have the patience? Why don't you have patience with this team or with this
instant
kid?
gratification?
Because the reason I don't have it with him is because you have a small window again with this team too, before you start losing guys that you got to win. With who? You got with Jason Kelsey, with Lane Johnson, who's going to be sitting here. You got the whole Fletcher Cox. There's a lot of guys that need to win in the NFL. You need to win right now. You can't wait.
Well, I think
but they're like on the tail end of their career anyway. They've already won a Super Bowl with us. It's not like Bryce Harper, where the time is ticking in his prime right now. Those guys are half dead in football years anyway.
Right. So, but if you wait 2 years for Jalen Hurts to develop.
Yeah, then you just bring in a new young stud to take those guys' spot with your draft picks that you didn't use on Watson.
Right, but you have to then in 2 years you're going to have to pay Hurts.
Well, I think the main problem is that you've seen all these different quarterback deals, Russell Wilson, this and that. These teams are just giving up a lot of stuff, and I don't know that the Eagles want to give up all that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, but like I said, the only reason why they're giving up all that for quarterbacks is because you have to have a quarterback to win. If you don't have a quarterback that's good enough, and quarterbacks, that are in Jalen Hurts' class, Justin Herbert, he's gotten, the Chargers there where he's at could be. You got, even Mac Jones this year. I mean, he was more of a game manager, but look, he took the Patriots to the playoffs.
How about Josh Allen up in Buffalo? How many years did he take?
2 years.
Took a few years.
Right.
But at that time the Bills didn't have a team like the Eagles did.
Well, they're building.
But you were 4 years from a Super Bowl.
Okay.
Where the Bills got the number 1 pick. I mean, Jalen Hurts was the number 2
All
pick.
right, you've taken up way too much time on trashing Jalen Hurts, and I'm holding Lauren accountable for that. So, because she started this whole debacle.
Oh, God.
We need to move on.
Of course.
Sixers are winning.
Sixers are up 6-2. So hold your breath. Hold your breath. Hey, I want to throw it over before we dig into some other current events. I want to throw it over to Anthony. You lost one of your wrestling buddies this week. Talk about it a little bit. I know it's a guy that you've worked with and become friends with.
Yeah. So Scott Hall, we had him at the Reading Phils, I would say maybe 2014 or so, if I had to guess. And this was right after he was having some trouble, and he was with drugs and alcohol and things like that, which he suffered from. So he was on his way back, and we had to make a decision. We had the opportunity to have him, and a lot of people were not having him at that time. So we took that risk, and it paid off very well. And he was one of the nicest guys I've ever met. And, we ended up staying in touch. And I know for when we even done some fundraisers for I know Brad's mom and different things, he sent us things that were his personal things to be autographed, and same thing with Kevin and the other guys too. But Scott was a super nice guy. I got to spend the whole weekend with him when he was here, and was just a very nice man. I think he just had
he battled a lot of demons.
Yeah, he battled a lot of demons that was just tough. I mean, that's a tough life to live. Not any excuse, but when you're on the road for 350 days and your body's all banged up and you're doing things to kind of relieve that pain, it can catch up to you after a while. So.
Well, and I think one of the bigger things in wrestling in general is they'll build you up as high as they can to get as much money and revenue out of you as possible. And then the minute you don't perform anymore, they drop you like John does with these Eagles. And that's it. They're done with you.
That's the Vince McMahon way.
Right.
But what I've noticed, for the past 2-3 days since the first news broke, of how he had the hip surgery and everything that kind of fell after that. There's been so many stories going back over the years, and I haven't seen one bad thing. I mean, a lot of big name wrestlers, that have just spoken so highly of Scott and different things. I mean, it's
when his mind was clear and he was in a good place. And I think the problem with Scott is, Scott had a lot of depression in his life. So when I talked to him personally, and driving him around and stuff, when he was even if he was in front of 10 people at a high school gym, he could turn on that energy. But then when you're alone, you feel like no one cares about you, and he sort of forgets that everyone loves him. So the COVID stuff was probably the worst possible thing that could have ever happened to him. He got, 2 times into the Hall of Fame, once by himself, once with the NWO, then COVID hit. And then he was sort of by himself for 2 years, and a guy that has to take a lot of medication and might not be eating properly and doesn't really have someone checking on him that much. It was kind of a recipe for disaster. So, he ended up getting a little weak. He fell and broke his hip, and we were hoping that it was just something that you'd have to recover from, but there were some underlying health issues there. I know he was on a lot of medication and wasn't eating very well, so it's just a shame. We were trying to have him this year with Kevin. We're doing a double bobblehead this year, and Kevin texted me the other day and said it's going to be an emotional day at the ballpark. It was the first thing that they were supposed to do together since this. So
What is that documentary we watched about Scott Hall?
There was a documentary, like an E60 or one of those ESPN type things, and I think it's right before he totally made his full comeback. I know Diamond Dallas Page helped him out and got him on this yoga routine to help him get back in shape, but it was right before that, and it just showed him at a really really difficult time.
I think it really showcases everything that he's been through in his life and all the things that he's battled and just still been able to come back. I mean, he talks a lot about, taking his own life, thinking about it, just everything he's been through. It's just it really clues you into everything that he's battled in his life. So it's really a shame that that's kind of how it ended.
It's ironic because, when he was working with Kevin Nash and they brought Hogan in, and they did the whole NWO skit and whatnot, to steal a line out of the wrestling, playbook, he was a very popular heel. You know what I mean? He was one of the guys that even though everybody hated him, they loved him.
Right.
He was just one of those guys.
Yeah. There's not many people that can do that. When they brought him in originally, he was supposed to be bad with that Scarface gimmick, but people just thought he was so cool. And it's just, it's sad. I think, when we were in the car, we were talking about having him back. This was in 2014. And he's like, he kept joking, but he's like, hopefully I live long enough to make it back. So I think he knew he knew that when he was alone, it wasn't the best. So I think that's why Kevin and a lot of his friends tried to keep him as busy as possible. Not only would that help him out financially, Scott himself, but it would also keep his mind busy. So yeah, the last 2 years were just tough for him. So it's a shame.
So we've got more breaking news on this fan's view. Super agent Sean is now representing Sue Henderson for this Sue's view. I'm not quite sure what night whether we're gonna compete or she's gonna pick another night. But
I think that comes from when she used to interject in the background.
Yeah,
she got kicked to the other room.
She's back, by the way. She's back. But Sean, good luck. Good luck with that. Make sure you get a signed contract. But so I'm looking forward to it. You guys do a lot of great things up there in Reading, and I know the season's just around the corner, and you guys have been promoting the hell out of it. Lauren, you've been quiet lately with Humane Pennsylvania. Can you give us a couple minutes and bring us up to speed where you're at there?
Sure. So we have our 45th annual walk coming up on May 7th. We have a pack this year. It's called Carl's Cards Canines. If anyone's interested in supporting that right now, we have a jersey raffle going on over on the Carl's Cards page. It's $20 for a ticket. And if you win, you get your choice of 4 really, really nice autographed frame jerseys. I won't give those away. You can head over to the Carl's Cards page to see what those are. We're only selling 100 tickets. So your odds of winning are 1 out of 100. So not bad there. And then the money that's raised will support our Carl's Cards Canines pack. I will post as we get a little bit closer. If anyone's interested in joining our pack, you can do so. So you can get a custom t-shirt and just be a part of the team and the overall fundraising efforts for that. So that's happening May 7th. But tomorrow we actually are kicking off our St. Caddy's Day promotion. So all cats in either one of our shelters in Berks or in Lancaster are just $3.17. That's cats that are a year and older. So hopefully that helps some of them find some new homes and allows us to open up some space in our shelter because kitten season is right around the corner when it starts to get warm. So we try to do a little cat promotion ahead of time. So that starts tomorrow and it runs through Sunday.
Okay.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very cool.
Very nice. I see what you did there. 317. Very
That's
catchy.
why they pay me the big bucks.
I see that. I see that. And we're able to get you for an hour every Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm. Well, technically it's every other Wednesday night.
Yeah, I know, but
no, you're not. No, you're just as valuable when you're there with the mic going.
Oh, don't try to kiss up to me now.
Don't worry, I don't kiss up.
This hurts me. All right. Tomorrow night is a big night in Flyer Town.
Yes.
Flyers are. It's a big night for Claude Giroux. I don't know so much about the Flyers, but it's a big night for Claude Giroux. 1,000 game as a Flyer. Big night. He sits right there at the top of quite a few record books. I know Clarkie's in town. Who's the other big name? Eric Lindros is in town. They got a big thing going on down in the Wells Fargo Center tomorrow night. I even think, if I heard this correctly, they're giving away free grilled cheese sandwiches. Because apparently that's G's favorite pre-game meal is a grilled cheese.
So everybody in attendance gets a free grilled cheese. I may have to go now.
Don't hold me to every person, but there's something they ain't free.
Every other.
So Jack's correcting me. They ain't free.
Oh.
They ain't free, but there's something about it. Selling grilled cheese sandwiches, free print. Okay, there you go. So
there was free somewhere.
Yeah,
a free print of what? A grilled cheese sandwich?
Yes.
Or Giroux?
No, of Drew.
Oh.
So anyway, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Here's a guy who gave his whole life to the Flyers organization, and now, you're going to
Swiss cheese like him.
he's tough.
Jeez.
He's
Now
tough.
you know where I get. Now you know where I get my feisty attitude from.
She's going to do real well on this Sue's View. So
Yeah,
she's going to do very well. So
she's not going to like that City Distilling's just exclusive to this fan's view.
Yeah, I don't. She's not stealing my shirts anymore. But yeah, the whole Giroux thing has me a little. I don't know. I got mixed emotions of why we can't re-sign him for a couple of more years just to keep him here. I don't think this team is as bad as the season has proclaimed to be because again, so many injuries. I just think next year is going to be a different look, and I'd rather have G on the team. Who's going to be the captain? I know John. John has pointed out that I guess that Couturier is probably next in line. I just don't know if he's captain worthy. I really don't.
Do you think Deshaun Watson is?
Positively not, and I don't think he can skate either.
Oh, Lauren, you're killing me.
I just, Nick, I just don't know about Coots. I really don't. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. But, tomorrow night, big night, his 1000th game, as a Flyer. G isn't a good captain, though. I know, Jack, I hear you, but, he's held that C in line for many, many years, and I think the team the team has gone back and forth. I think they'd have been in a good spot this year if it wasn't for so many injuries. I mean, you take
see that about every Philadelphia team.
I was going to say that seems to be a very common theme here.
Well.
But you know what? But how about this though, Carl? How about if Giroux gets traded and then he comes back to finish up his career? Do you think that's possible?
I don't. I'm not a big fan of that.
Okay.
I'm just not. I don't look at that as good business. You know what I mean? I just read Lawton is captain material if he scored 30 goals. Well, we know. And I'm a big Scotty Lawton fan. You know what I mean? I think these guys, they've given they've given it all, but it's a tough spot for all of them right now with as bad as they've played. I thought the world of Carter Hart. I thought he was going to be the second coming of Pelly Lindbergh, Bernie Perrant, Patrick Waugh. I thought he was going to be the guy. He's
got the problem this year.
I was going to say, do you think he still could be, or are you giving up on him?
I tell you what, I've seen an awful lot of soft goals, and that concerns me. He's played well at times, but he concerns me.
But do you think that's has something to do with poor defense in front of him and just a season that's kind of over?
I don't know. Those soft goals concern me. They're right in front of you. The play's right in front of you. You know what I mean? Your glove's out of position. Your blocker's out of position. You're out of position. I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the whole organization at this point, to be honest with you. Ever since, the whole Hextall debacle, look what he's done out in Pittsburgh. It's just not very fan friendly right now.
A smile.
Yeah, of course he is. Why not? Why not? Why not? Right?
Oh, yeah.
But is there anyone worth keeping? I don't know. The team is really
blow it up. Blow it up. Start over.
Easy for you to say, Mr. Pittsburgh.
I don't know.
He doesn't even watch hockey. He couldn't even, other than Sidney Crosby, he couldn't even name you 4 other guys on the team.
Well, that's neither here nor there.
Right,
but what I'm saying is, I've had a lot of heartache in the baseball world, so it's not that different. Blow it up, start over.
I don't know.
They might be there.
I don't know about all that, but I think we covered all the bases tonight that I wanted to. If you guys got anything else that you want to finish up with, I know the brackets are on John's top of the list.
Yep.
And we've announced some pretty cool prizes. It's free to enter. John, why don't you go over it one more time before we say goodnight?
Yep. Just go over to our Facebook page. It's right on it's pinned to the top of the page. Just click the link there for it, and just check in the comments. There's four easy steps for you to do. It's pretty simple to follow through. The only thing you have to do is create an account if you don't have an ESPN account, which is just your email and a password, so it's nothing crazy. And then you'll be logged in for the future. Just remember your password, so that next year when we play, you'll be all set to go. It'll be easy enough to do, and then you just there's little dots next to each name. You just punch the ticket for each of those teams that you want, and the computer will take care of the rest of it for you. It'll advance that team over, and you're good to go.
And if you don't want to go through all that, that's it. And if you don't want to go through all that, you can hit the auto select button.
There you go.
They will pick randomly pick teams for you.
Yeah, well, I think it looked like the auto just picked all the top seeds going all the way through. So
is that right?
Yeah, if too many people, you'll have a lot of duplicate winners.
If you do auto, can you go back and change?
You can, yes. Mm-hmm.
That might be the easier way to do it.
Right. You just got to go. You got until, like I said, I think 12 o'clock tomorrow is the first tip off. So you just got to make sure you have it done by then. And then you just type in your final score.
Tomorrow at noontime, right?
Yes. Yep.
Tomorrow at noontime. So you got to get your picks in. Otherwise, John isn't in control of this because it's all done electronically on the ESPN page. Correct, right. John?
Absolutely. Yep. So it's very, very easy. Like I said, we'll just announce, you'll see all the names up there. We do have a couple others that are on the other bracket that we have. Not many. So I'm still trying to get those couple people over. And then the only other thing to do is if you can, just when you go on there, and get rid of the ESPN number for us, if you could, so that you can put your name on there so that we know who everybody is.
Right.
And you could do that between now and the end of the tournament. In case you do bad, you don't have to let your name out there. but that way we know who the winner is, so that it makes it a little bit easier. Because ESPN does have your, they give you a 10-digit number or whatever it is as your team name. You can change that right at the top, and it's easy enough to do. And then all you got to do is hit, type in the your final score as a tiebreaker, and then hit submit. And you're
all right. We will. On that note, everybody that's interested, the YouTube page is up and running 1,000%. We need your help in getting to 100 subscribers. So
we're at 75 now. We're getting there.
Nice.
If you go over there, it's just another avenue for us to, gain some more exposure and get the word out. Speaking about getting the word out, Hanrahan's Irish Pub next Wednesday night. Our guest is Chris Jenkins. He will be in the house. So come on out. It's a Delco spot. The old Waverly Movie Theater. So come out, join us. We have a lot of fun.
They'll be open. I believe it was 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow for.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
They'll be ready to go all tomorrow. So it'll be good. Get out there and.
They open with Irish dancers and they close with Irish dancers. So
there you go. There you go.
They got it going on. So. Guys, I don't know if you got anything to finish with. If you're
all good,
Mario, great looking shirt.
Yep.
They do have great wings, Jack. You're absolutely right. But we only go to places that have really good food, so that's a prerequisite. So they gotta have good food for us. So on that note, guys, have a great week. Happy St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. Wear your green, drink your green beer. Be safe, and I'll keep you guys fully vested on this Sue's View.
There you go.
If I hear anything, I'll let you know.
All
And,
right.
and then mark your calendars. Mark your calendars because Carl's Cards has got a lot of things happening. March 28th, George Niang will be here. April 3rd, Grant Fuhrer is going to be here as well. So the next couple of weeks we got a busy happening here at Carl's Cards. So get out and mark your calendars for that. And then the big one is April 30th is Lane Johnson. So
There you go.
Get those tickets because they're moving quick now. So
April 10th's a big date too. Mark your calendars for April 10th.
What's April 10th, Dad?
I believe somebody's celebrating a birthday.
But we don't advertise for this Sue's View.
Right.
Well, it's not official, so it's not official. So, but if we can help out, you know what I mean. We're there.
We'll do our best.
Shawnee could use some help. So, take care, guys. Have a great night.
See you later.